La 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 le, le, le.
You know what it is. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. My name is Elemen2al. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We've been doing this for 179 weeks now, y'all. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Here we go again. As I mentioned, we do this every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams, we truly appreciate you. And you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number's on your screen, 279-995-364. Jump into the Zoom, join the greatest community in the world. It is truly a different world inside the Zoom. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills. All right, so we would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute or by hitting the Cash App at $ New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, also programs and ops assistant, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it. You should be. Also, make sure you are plugging in with the squad. Shout out C4. These are all amazing poets. They are just, make sure you do yourself a favor. There's so many incredible things coming from all of these poets. This is where you can find me. So many things in the mix, in the works. Make sure you are plugging in. Tonight's theme, delivering the news, being in the know. I am looking forward to hearing what folks think about what it means to deliver authentic news, right? How important it is to be in the know to actually be able to deliver real news, all right? It's gonna be incredible as always. Also, your poem does not have to be on theme. It is totally cool. We are still looking forward to everything that you come through tonight. Make sure you got your poetic license strapped on tight. Next week's theme, it's gonna be a heavy one, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna do it together. Coming at you. A day of remembrance. Never, never forgotten. And we are celebrating one of our beloved founders, actually his birthday. Miguel Agarin will be, as always, in spirit with us as we celebrate his birth, his life, next Monday. So, listen, we're going to be paying homage to the people that we've lost and how we remember them, how our love for them keeps them alive and growing towards the future as we do, right? How important is it for the lost to be never forgotten? So again, that's for next week. Make sure you come through and just do what you normally do. It's the greatest community in the world, and you're going to find out why. Let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry, folks. Turn your cameras on. We're trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see all the beautiful expression that goes into your poetry performance. And I want to see if you're going to freak out these backgrounds. All right. So turn your cameras on before you get ready to rip. As you're getting ready to rip, have your poem ready. All right. If you're going analog, dog ear the page. If you're going digital, have the file pulled up. If you're using music, which is totally cool, make sure it's original music. Don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our streams in any way. If you're playing music, which is also totally cool, make sure you're using original sound. All right. Original sound, original music, and we are good to go. All right. Also, change your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you before or after you get down. Make sure you are plugging your information in the chat so folks can follow you. Poets, you got 3 minutes to rock. All right, 3 minutes and 30-second intro. Please keep in mind there are people who are at the 23rd, 24th, and 25th spot. All right, keep in mind. Please respect all the poets in the room. 3 minutes. We have reached night 30 for the babies, folks. I promise you. There are some explicit lyricists in our community, and the founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate, which will not, I say not, be tolerated. There is no censorship. All right, as I mentioned, there are some explicit lyricists. They may trigger some difficult flashbacks. All right, thou hast been warned. I continue to say poetry is a living, breathing trigger warning. Know what you're stepping into. This is a true call and response space. After the poets get up here and they rip out a part of who they are to share it with you, you will see this pop up on your screen. Make sure you are unmuting yourself and let the people know, let the poets know that you are in here to support what they're doing, right? Don't worry about the noise. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. All right. All of this energy that you share will come back to you as a poetic performance from all of these incredible poets, which we will hear tonight. So make sure you are sharing your energy with the room. The list tonight is closed. All right. Sign up begins 24 hours before the show, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You go to newyourekan.org, click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to get down on. You need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way that you're getting on the guaranteed list, and they will not even populate until 24 hours before the show. Also going on in the brick and mortar, the open mic hosted by Felicia Cade and Soul Preem, both incredible poets. Make sure you plug in. This week will be Women's Orator Wednesday, hosted by La Bruja in the brick and mortar. Make sure you are plugging in. No doubt going to be incredible. Also on Thursday, hosted by La Bruja. Make sure you are plugging in with the online open mic as well. This week on Friday, the ASL Slam will be getting down right before the one and only Jive gets down. Shout out DJ Paco. It is incredible in that space. A once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm telling you, it's bananas. And then right after Jive, you have the open room with Chevette. Tonight's list. Look at all these incredible poets that have come to get down and share all of their incredible work with us. So let's get to it. There's all my rowdy friends here on Monday night. It's always so great to see all of y'all. Oh my goodness. I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I wait all week just to hang out with y'all. For real. So let's get it going. Coming up first. It's been a while since this cat was in the set it off spot, but I have no doubt that he is ready to put it down. the one and only Poetastic is in the building to set us off this evening. Come on, Eddie. You know what it is. Great to see you, man. Let these folks know how they can connect with you, man. Set it off. Let's go.
Thank you, my bro. Like no other words like thunder. Thank you for making my Labor Day with your wonderful, inspirational wordplay all day, every day. Woo! My name is Ed Potato, feeling fantastic. Please take the time to enjoy my rhyme file. I feel sublime. If you want to know about me, look in the chat so you know where it's at. The first piece I want to say is anti-Twilight Zone. In a world where food utility prices are high, where fossil fumes are ruining their skies, they toss common sense aside, where they use guns to shoot when someone offers them a ride. In a world full of mini or big flashing screens, where they accept technology but few strip their humanity, where they slowly pollute their oceans and seas, where giving them likes or money fuels their sympathy. In a world where violence is on the rise, where a few make speeches but aren't so wise, where they wear strange outfit for a disguise, where they don't care about quality but size. In a world where a few of them act like sheep, where a few stop thinking but leap into the frozen creek, where they laugh at your wounds so painful and deep, where offering them support makes you a creep. In a world where the wealthy are jailed for enormous accusations, where they are avoiding the charges and traveling to unknown destinations, where they drink the sun and decadent wine on a vacation, where they blame it on miscommunication or misinformation. In a world where a snob can be a queen or king, where you show off your body, money, and sparkling rings, where it's cool being a puppet on its strings, where you look good but can't dance or sing. In a world where they judge you by your race or skin, where only bullets and pleas transcend, where only crooked cops ascend, where life from within reaches an unforeseen end. In a world where huge epidemics are in the past, where they refuse to wear masks, where you should respect but not ask, where it's much more popular to be in a portable flask. In a world where it's cool to be dumb but not smart, where completing nothing can be sold for equivalent art, where you could be sweet but it comes off tart, where it's about conflicting nonsense but not from the heart. In a world where you can travel to oceans or space, where they want to win the political race, where they can change everything, including their face, where they chase and chase to find their place. In a world, hold up, this isn't fantasy, but reality. Please forgive me of offering virtuality to your morality. It's not brutality of your morality. It's to give literality in your dimensionality. Thank you.
Bring virtual reality. Damn it, Eddie, that's how you do it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Oh, damn it.
Eddie, yeah.
Oh my God.
Eddie, Eddie, Eddie.
You are just shining, man.
Just amazing. Please give Eddie a voiceover job in movies. You know, he is just amazing. Love you, Eddie. That was amazing.
Oh,
Whoa,
thank you so
know
much.
what?
You guys gonna make me want to
Opens up
blush.
a whole nother can of worms, man. What character with Eddie voice? Listen, man. I appreciate you for setting us off this evening, Eddie. Listen, I truly dig how you are digging deeper, man. Really, I can hear you digging deeper into what you do, man. Right? And I love it, right? I've been doing a lot of research on AI, man, and I love how you just jumped it right off, right? You accept technology, right? It is just that way. And then people want to check out, right? Where they drink the sun, right? Where it's cool being a puppet on a string, right? Where only crooked cops are sin. Cool to be dumb, but not smart. Man. Change everything, including their face. Listen. You know that, you better be careful who you messing with, right? Because everybody may not be who they appear to be. Appreciate you, Eddie. For real, make sure you are plugging in with Poetastic. He always has a rhyme on deck, and that I will bet. All right, coming up next, our resident blacksmith in the building always stays so sharp with his poetry. I'm telling you, he's a blacksmith. His pen just is always so damn sharp. It's crazy. The one and only Michael Sindler is here. Please unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Always great to be here. And I do want to immediately put up the word for lighthousewriters.org. Great organization full of wonderful workshops and all kinds of things to help out writers at any stage and whatever you want to do. And I just want to, before I get started, it's like, Labor Day is nice and it's good to have a day off, but there are so many things that we really do have to thank the labor movement for, our 40-hour work week, our minimum wage, the fact that we can eat food and not, be scared as to whether or not it's going to poison us, and just on and on and on and on are things that would not exist without labor. And I will get a little bit political and say, this is why we got to vote blue, because if we don't, all of that's going to go away. So with that being said, I wasn't really going to do anything newsy, but this is a little bit, I meant to get this before, but I haven't been around here for the last few weeks, so I didn't get to do it. So this is for the Zoot Suit rioters, August 1942. If they cannot make your skin illegal, if they cannot make your soul illegal, if they cannot make your history, your community, your very being against the law, they will attack your culture. They will attack your style, make the outer utterance of what you are, your shield and armor, your bright costume of pride, a crime. They will beat you down and chain you. They will push you into cells overcrowded with your innocent, elegant brothers, make you pay for not being them, make you suffer for the color of your skin, make you all too aware that you are not to be you, that you are not to be here, though you were here long before. If they cannot find cause, they will create it. Give false witness to contain you in cages, to contain you in the barrio when the cells are full, and make the streets a prison yard. They will make it all as hard as they are able, for as long as they hold power, for as long as they fear darkness, for as long as they cannot understand the freedom folded and stitched into your zoot suit. Okay, and I will carry on here. As I say, I haven't been here for a while, so I have a lot of stuff that I haven't done here. I'll follow that with just a little more of my swoony romanticism. This is called Constant. Shifting stars are cause for change, but I am constant in my love, no connection to expectation. Time does not dull, no shift into retrograde. Stars birthed in Big Bang, heat reflected in first meeting's heartbeat. A dazzle that does not die rings independent of clockwork and sky. They say shooting stars are for making wishes, but I have ceased to wish for more. That what was, that what is in balance and will forever be. Okay, thank y'all.
I told y'all, right? Even when it's soft, it's sharp. Goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael Sidler.
Very nice, very nice.
Michael. Wow.
Very
Hey, that
nice.
was awesome. So on point. Thank you.
Oh, so on point. Listen, this is why I call him our resident blacksmith, right? Because he stays on point, even when he's talking about something from 1942. You don't know what he was mentioning, the Zoot Suit riots of 1942, do yourself a favor and do some research. But so many things in that poem. He said, if they cannot make your skin illegal, right? Like, they will attack your culture. If they can't make your skin illegal, they'll attack your culture. Come on, man. You are not to be you. If they can't find cause, they'll create it and make the streets a prison yard. Yeah. Listen. And then the second poem, you know, again, you just take it all the way into that, you know what I mean? I am constant in my love, right? Heat reflected in first meeting's heartbeat. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. That's how you sail away on things, man. You know what I mean? Those heartbeats last forever, man. Thank you, Michael Sindler. We truly appreciate you. A mainstay of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with Michael Sindler and Lighthouse Writers. He would not be talking about this place for years now if it weren't worth it. So make sure you are plugging in. Thank you, Michael Sindler. All right, coming up next. Hope you got your medulla strapped on tight. I'm telling you, this is all of these poets are going to do this. This one in particular just has a habit of raising your IQ. No matter what he does, when he has his guitar, when he's reading, he's just the one and only Mr. Teza Somo. Time for our Tez Talk, y'all. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Good afternoon, New Eureka Poets Cafe, artists and listeners and the community at large. Folks can follow me on Instagram under Gashes2019, and I've dropped some more links on the chat. I'm gonna jump in with this. I believe I'm on theme. It's about delivering the news, right? So this is titled Joel Limer, The Poet Stands. I'm here to deliver the news. Joel Limer has moved on, but you probably didn't know him. A San Diego slam poet, a fiery Filipino soul. He battled with words, making the truth his sword. A professor of politics. He wore many hats, from law school to poetry, where he laid down his tracks. He spoke of social issues, politics, and more. With words like razor blades, he cut you to the core. The quote, the average person moves about 11 times, he'd say as he weaved through his complex rhymes, his words of map trace, his journey so vast from Lorton to Hawaii, memories he held fast. He moved countless times, but he found his own grace in the places he stayed, in new phases. He packed up his life in an hour, no doubt, finding comfort in change. He'd never sell out. He tells stories of ninjas, heroes, and more in a style so unique, he'd leave you wanting more. With humor and wit, he confronts stereotypes, exposing the truths hidden beneath all the hype. From White Hollywood, quote, so there I was, with a knapsack of rice at the end of my bamboo stick, walking towards a Shaolin monastery, when a gang of ninjas appeared and challenged me to a fight, in subtitles. But that's when Donald Trump, Batman, and Scarlett Johansson rescued me from the beatdown about to happen. Grateful, I must have offered all my fish, gave you my spot on the dance crew, solved all your math homework, and bowed my head about 100 times while making tea, drawing anime, and getting my nursing degree. Because as you know, my Oriental multitask quicker than emojis. My slanted eyes make me emotionless, and I move from thankful to angry to high to apologetic with the same damn face. He challenged the system, the status quo, with words as his weapons. He put on a show. He pushed for a world free of racism's whole with poems so wonderful they never grow old. Again, from White Hollywood. I mean, how insecure are you, White Hollywood, when diversity means placing Asian males in asexual supporting roles, never getting the girls? I mean, I get it. You don't need Viagra. You can suck your own dick because you get a colonized erection. Every single time you cast an Asian women as a love interest, sex slaves, you see, you tell society, white person saves me by pushing me out of the damn way. Alexandra Johnson chose this poem that spoke to our world, White Hollywood by Joel Limer, raw and explicit, and exploration of racism. Her seventh graders prepared with utmost care the content that some might seem quite rare. They delved into the verses with a guided hand, understanding the depths of the poetic landscape. But 5 weeks later, a Karen's voice did rise on Facebook. They complained, concerns revealed. The news spread like wildfire, a tail in the air. The post-millennial Washington News Examiner, all aware the school took action, the poem removed from sight. And Alexandra Johnson was placed on leave that night. She learned that her fate from her school's decree, but online through articles for all to see. Supporters on Twitter voiced their discontent, seeing anti-racism teaching as the true intent. They suspected a cover, a smoke screen so slide. So for addressing racism, the reason why, in a world filled with censorship, heavy hand, they stood for critical thinking in this education land. Today, I want to write a poem that ends racism, he said. He declared, his words ringing out with idealism, his dream of a world where love had conquered all, where divisions crumble and unity would stand tall. Quote, I want to write a poem where you are the main character of a comic book, the hero living a life with purpose. Purpose is what makes this hero and what makes us humans. Stop living your life like an apology. Joel Limer was a poet, a professor, a friend. His words will live on. His message won't end. Though he's moved on from this world, we'll all share his poetry and passion will always be there. Quote, I want you to wake up realizing that God tattooed your throat with the words, break in case of emergency, so you can scream at the ocean and let your failures drown in the surf. So let us remember Joe with his rapid fire speech, his lyrical style, and the lessons he teach. In the words of poetry, he left his own mark, a true artist, a poet, a light in the dark. I'm here to deliver the news. Joel Limer has moved on, but you probably didn't know him, a poet of passion, a voice for the truth. In our hearts, his memory will forever be a fuse. This is the news with Joe's own words. Quote, I want you to discover the black box that will crash into your unfamiliar yourself because you see, you've arrived. Thank you.
This is crazy, for real. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr. Tezasomo.
Wow.
Fantastic work.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes,
Wow.
we all want to live our lives so that we get a eulogy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Okay. Mr. Tez, I have a conversation with a cat that I know, shout out Concrete Generation. And we say, 6 degrees of separation is getting thrown out. And you just did that, Mr. Tez. No one else in here may know, but I know Sriracha because I learned from Sriracha. I actually was able to learn directly from that cat. He was actually the reason how I got to the Poetry Lounge in Hollywood. Joe Limer was one of the most incredible poets I've ever met. He is a part of my poetry journey, getting to be this poet. Everyone who I know in that area, in the Tri-City area, all of his students at Palomar, like he will truly, truly be missed. All the folks in San Diego, all the folks in North County, everyone knows Joe Limer from La Paloma all the way down to Dago. Trust and believe, everyone is missing Joe Limer. Thank you, Mr. Tez, for that. For real, I had no idea. That was amazing, Mr. Tez. I had no idea that you. Thank you. He definitely has a special place in my heart for a lot of things that he did. Thank you, Mr. Tez, for that. If you don't know Joe Limer, aka Sriracha, may he rest in peace. Incredible educator, definitely a passionate poet, had his own unique style. And found himself on the slam team quite a few times with some heavy hitters. Definitely one of the best I've ever known. Thank you. All right. That's just heavy, man. That's just heavy. Oh my goodness. Listen, let me shout out a couple of folks real quick. Shout out Lisa Cooley. They let me know that they are in the building, right? So they will be rocking in the brick and mortar this evening. Shout out Melinda Lucas. Always great to see you and your energy sharing with us. We truly hope to hear your poetry soon. Frog Corpse, my man Frog. You don't know Frog, man. That is one of the most interesting poets I've ever come across in my life. Shout out Frog Corpse. Shout out PGN. Listen, for real. Ian O'Ken, I appreciate you for being here this evening. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up next, listen, this next poet continues to come through and share their energy, whether they're ripping or not. She is a mainstay of our community, and the reason why we continue to do this is for poets like her. I'm telling you, it's the one and only Mia Aguilera. Love when Mia comes through. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, Mia. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. Your words are always very kind, and I appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram at Mia Sochi. I'll put it in the chat later. I have 2 poems tonight. The first one is called "My Racist Coworker Pauses to Let Me Down the Stairs First." But you can stop that kindness because chivalry is dead. When we were friends, the first word I would have used to describe you was charming. After 10 months of ignoring you, I wonder what you still see in me. You told me once at a restaurant in Chinatown, the waitress carelessly flung the takeout container onto your table. Perhaps she knew you are a racist piece of shit. Perhaps she knew you are the type of white man to imitate a Chinese accent. Perhaps she knew you and your girlfriend are the type of people to report her behavior to the boss. I thought of this woman when you quoted Long Duck Dong's lines from 16 Candles and knew that you deserved worse. You compose poems daily. I watch you deliberate over certain words, replace an adjective with another that is more precise. I know the meanest thing I could do is write a poem at your expense. The second one I wrote today and it's not finished yet. And it's a little longer than most of my poems, so I'm gonna try to get through it quickly. It's called El Remedio. In 2021, my abuelita would enter grocery stores without a mask, and when the employees asked her to put one on, she refused and they would escort her out. Banned from the mercado she had shopped at for years, she couldn't get okra or flour for the tortillas she made by hand. I was dazed by this news. No mask and no vaccine. I recalled the unhinged man who roamed Fort Greene, posting flyers and shouting at passerby, clearly a Trump supporter. My abuelita acted nothing like him, and the only politician I'd ever heard her speak about was Enrique Peña Nieto. Why was she an anti-masker? Perhaps it was the American doctors. She gave birth to almost all her children in a small mud house in Baja California. What use did she have for them then? If I had let her stay in the Mexican hospital, my aunt says, maybe she'd still be alive. My silence rolls out like waves. After my abuelita's death, my aunt became obsessed with finding a cure, spending hours online researching homeopathic remedies. Some months later, my abuelito tests positive for COVID-19. He is 93 years old. My aunt devises a cocktail of natural ingredients, all of which I forget the name of immediately after she tells me. She spoon feeds him like an infant. I worry about her fixation to cheat death. Her father is old and has mild dementia. Perhaps it is simply his time to go. What age is a reasonable age to die? 110? Although they never got divorced, late in life, my abuelitos couldn't stand each other's company and lived in separate states. My abuelita was in the hospital losing strength. My abuelito called her and said, "You have to fight. You have to carry on." Love returning after years of dormancy. Mi abuelito no se muere. In fact, he looks healthier now than before he got sick. He uses his walker less. The doctor observes my abuelito's alert eyes and is amazed. How can this be? I say nothing to quell my aunt's victory. He has become un milagro, a wonder for the elders to praise and chat about over their instant coffee. In the kitchen, my aunt puts dates, oat milk, and ice into a blender, ministering the same tenderness my mom did while packing my elementary school lunches. My abuelito sips the shake happily, and I take a small spoonful. Es muy rico, verdad? Thank you.
You see, this is why little Mia comes through. Unmute yourself, give it up for Mia.
Yeah, Mia.
Yeah,
Lovely.
Mia.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Very lovely.
Nice
Word.
job.
It
That
was a
much in that
badass
first
first
piece.
poem.
It was not about what he had done to you, but your compassion over what you see him doing to others. That just really struck me as so beautiful.
Cool.
I love our community. Absolutely. Right? Because we can digest poems like that, right? And see how much beauty exists and how much truth exists in that. And so many reactions from our community with that poem, Mia. Really. Like Gustav, right? Don't piss off a poet. Or listen, don't ever do it. Right? She said when we were friends. When we were friends in her first poem, right? She said you can stop the kindness, right? I wonder what you're still seeing, right? The meanest thing that I could do, right? Right, Lex? The meanest thing I could do is write a poem at your expense. You don't want those problems with a poet. You just don't. Forget about it. Forget about it. And the second poem, I truly, truly love when the previous generation's real love comes to light, right? Just like the music of their generation, right? There's so much pure depth and love in it, right? And you said, oh, okay, you know, when things get crazy, then it comes back up, right? They couldn't stand each other's company for a while, but then when the time is necessary, hey, you have to fight, you have to carry on, right? And now he's a miracle, right? Un milagro. That's just, I'm thankful for your abuelitas because they gave us you. We appreciate you, Mia, for sharing all of your incredible work. Thank you. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up next, the Jedi Master is here. The OG who continues to come and press it forward and forward and forward. Man, I'm so thankful for this cat for always coming through and blessing us with what he does. The one and only Paul Skiff is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Skiff, always great to see you. Please take it away.
I'm sorry to correct that. Paul couldn't be here tonight, so he sent me instead and asked me to do a poem for him. I'm going to do like the last third of a thing that was written specifically to be performed, not really for the page. And I'll try to plow through it quickly. And Paul asked me to come because he said he really appreciated how well I could imposter his voice. He said I sounded so much like him. It was going to be great to have me stand in for him. I'm doing this here because I have to charm you out of yourself to have you see I am here at all doing this as the more I bamboozle your understanding, the more you let go and enjoy it. I am doing this to help me be able to just barely recall my mouth is, if I remember right, supposed to be for something other than biting. I am doing this as my body is often treated as a ditch into which so much policy, procedure, and conditional privilege have been dumped that if I do not wave myself around, the heat of decay will smother my songs into pure blab. I am doing this instead of staying at home and misplacing myself, but I'm not going to get specific about that. I am doing this because as a lesson in self-defense, I wanted to share the last lines of a J.D. Rage poem. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I am doing this because life is a lucky wound in a game that inflicts it, but if I play by my rules, it will not matter if I triumph, am defeated, or heal. I will become an exit with no consequence. I am doing this as your hearing is reflecting your mind back on itself, where something has been liberated beneath the sound. The public disturbance or music, I don't know what it is, gets you to leave your consciousness without leaving your person. It is to your advantage because in silence you encounter yourself. It is the only way to put distance between you and that room you are in. I am doing this because I wanted some proof, hey. I wanted some empirical evidence. Up to now, you have been all just so fucking fictitious, so unverified. You've been just such a big story. I am doing this because at first I was not sure. I was not convinced about how vulnerable your limitations were, but I think they are all pretty much out in the open now. I am doing this because I want to get my voice to be like cold hands that rip the hem of time inside memory and watch it spread wide. And you want to make it so immediate, this bare moment to deal with you. I am doing this, even though it is hard knowing these explanations. Try to fit in that chair with you, in that place on your back, like you, a folded signal. I am doing this here now because before, you know, I wasn't allowed to. I am doing this here, but I usually just do it where I can get away with it and disappear. I am doing this for it makes me no different than a child who has been incarcerated in Tompkins Square Park with those new brightly colored swing sets behind fences that are authoritarian excuse like scarecrows to the squatters. But I am not so confused about playing the innocence of the saved against the innocence of the damned, for I am what is reproduced out of the social waste. I am doing this by distributing my voice among you as a natural resource for which there is no equivalent alternative, but its absence would not be a real scarcity. So you can limit the amount of your acceptance I'm accumulating. Just leave. But do not think that will stop my power development or prevent my flourishing. My throat is an engine. If you have not guessed by now, my throat is an engine that runs on refusal. I am doing this even though here is not the time or situation, the acceptance, life, or way of facing each other by which we can receive each other or the world. But this microphone, this computer, these rooms we're in, these little boxes we appear in, this moment cannot refuse to be vessels for the word. I am doing this because I still know what a soul is. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to wait till it comes out of you on the street. I am doing this because the police moved. They moved their patrols down from Avenue A. They pushed all the drug dealers to Avenue B to empty out all the people, get property down, and have small capitalists buy it for the gentry. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this here where I am, to mobilize all of you wherever the fuck you may be and service this target here where I am behind my enemy's lines. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I am doing this here because after every place you all are in become a hotel for rich people's dogs, the only things coming out of all these places will be noise and shit. I'm doing this so you will have to use discouragement and fear as impulse to escape the material security of your aristocratic spiritual fulfillment. I'm not going to take you beyond your limitations as a doubtfully necessary life form, trying to implicate itself in superiority, abolished by your own needs, twisted into an object. I'm doing this to seal the pact between you and I, given, not exchanged, not purchased. I'm doing this to separate myself, to throw understanding and mistake at your feet, to disappear between us like the aggression of love returning to the goodness of nothing.
I mean, unmute yourself, give it up for Paul Skip.
I mean, what is there to say?
Yeah, Paul, Jedi Master.
Damn. I mean, even if Paul was actually here, he couldn't do better than that.
Spectacular. Spectacular, man.
I'm gonna put Skip's
Paul
poem
will be
to a
happy.
hip hop beat. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put Skip's poem to the hip hop beat and let him change like the inner city. That's what's gonna happen.
Wow. Yo, was that just a whole Jedi mind trick right there? He said, I am not here. Therefore, I am here to, on some Dr. Manhattan shit. Like Paul Skip actually said that I can. So would that make you Skip 2.0 or listen, again, Jedi mind trick. Listen, so much in that piece. The more I bamboozle your understanding, the more you enjoy it. Fuck out of here. What? Life is a lucky wound, right? I will become an exit with no consequence, right? Leaving your consciousness without leaving your person. Like, this dude, he just does it, right? I say it all the time. There are people who do this, and there are people who do this, right? Reproduced from the social waste? What? Scarecrows for the squatters? What? An engine that runs on refusal? This dude, line after line, right? Vessels for the word I am, right? I still know what a soul is. Come on, man. Trying to mobilize all of you. A hotel for rich people's dogs. Come on, man. Come on. The aggression of love returning to the goodness of nothing. Again, man, it's just a Jedi mind trick, like up and down, backwards and sideways. A mainstay of our community, a true OG. Thank you, Paul Skip, for continuing to come through and bless us with the heavyweight punches, man. Every time. Truly appreciate you. And like May said, right? Put him on a beat. It's crazy. All right. Couple more folks I saw come in the building. Shout out Terry Rose Jertson. Always good to see Terry. And I see Allison Kirby in the room. Truly appreciate you for coming through and hanging out with us. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up next, a newer mainstay of our community. Clearly, this cat has been bitten by the bug. And listen, we are looking forward to whatever he comes through with. The one and only Dre Reyes is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Great to see you, Dre. Come on, take it away.
Great to see y'all tonight. Happy Labor Day, y'all. Again, my Instagram is at DreRay90. And tonight I'm gonna do one piece. I haven't had much time to really like do much writing, so I'm gonna do an older piece. Last week I did a piece of a cartoon character writing a letter to another one. Here's another one that I did. Actually, it was the first one I did. This is for any Hey Arnold fans out there. This is Pigeon Man Writes to Arnold. For years, I have dried the tears of many birds, not just pigeons. I have a spiritual bond with nature's aviators. They understand me, and I understand them. It's people I can't understand. Humanity has bit too much more off than it can chew from Mother Nature's eternally sacrificing and giving hands. It hurts me to see the way people hurt each other, the way it hurts people, the way we all hurt. It's a shame how the rest of the plant suffers because of so much hurt. Humanity needs to learn and apply the lesson of turning negatives into positives as opposed to combating negatives with negatives, but I digress. As I flew towards the sun, it felt as if I was chasing the horizon forever. Arnold, life is so much different when your head is in the clouds. Everything feels so much smaller. You, me, the troubles we face, the world, and everything in it. Despite of all the things I've seen, the places I've been to, the birds I have befriended, I haven't been able to meet another Arnold. Your kindness is a mighty flame that brings warmth and light to anyone who comes close enough. Empathy is an ability that is becoming lost in time, and my time is coming to an end. Arnold, don't be sad. I am a man whose head is in the clouds, but you have time on your sides to be the link to bind bird and human together. Never give up. Trust your instincts. Reach for the sky. Follow the buzzards. I miss you. Warm regards, Vincent. P.S. Always wash your berries before eating them and fly towards the
sun. That's what I'm talking about. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Dre Reyes.
All right.
Good job. Beautiful, man. That was beautiful.
Thank you. The sincerity was like in every stanza.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, well.
Yes, you can feel the pain, you know, you can feel it. It was awesome.
I love your wordplay, Dre Reyes, for real. And the fact that you are taking what you love and turning it into what you do, right? I appreciate that, right? Everyone can't necessarily bring those two together, right? I love writing about anime. I'm one of the biggest anime or animation fans in the world, man. It's just something about the completely created world of those things. He said He has a spiritual bond with nature's aviators. Man, what? Like, just to even think about it as an aviator, that's just heavy. Said it, but it's people I can't understand. Your kindness is a mighty flame, right? Follow the buzzards. Yeah, man, they teach you lots of things. Some things you may not want to see, but they will also show you inevitability. Appreciate you, Dre. A newer mainstay of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with Dre Reyes. Coming up next. Listen. I see this, man. Listen, let's tag it. Listen, tag it. Here comes the next. Listen, this poet, also a newer member of our mainstay of our community, has continued to come through and change the level of energy in the room. And I appreciate her for that. She's even asking the community, hey, which poem would y'all rather hear this evening? I love that, right? Always got something ready to rock. The one and only Kit Tay is in the building. Unmute yourself, let the folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Come on, take it away.
Hey, you can find on Instagram under Kittay _ the Poetic Cat, and it's cat with a K. So this isn't the full backstory of what happened with my sister, but it's a little bit, and then I plan on next week probably reading another poem on theme with her. Just to give a little more clarification, I'm gonna hop right into it. The cries and screams that once echoed in the hallway of my old home disappeared when you passed. So did the laughter and the way that we would dance. I spent 24 years struggling with the anxiety of what I would do when my parents would pass. How would I be able to take care of you? You needed 24/7 care. Your sleep schedule was erratic. I barely slept for years because I always needed to be a hypervigilant guard. My entire life changed the course of its direction the day we got the news of losing you. My mother was in the shower and someone from Hogan Regional Center in Danvers, Massachusetts left a recording on our house phone, audible through the speaker, that you had a heart attack. And by the time the EMTs arrived, you were pronounced dead. No more heartbeat. I was in disbelief while my mother was hysterically screaming out that they killed her daughter. As I watched her screaming and gripping her hair, I stepped back because she wouldn't look at me. This couldn't be real. I was dreaming. It's a nightmare. I'm dead. It's me. Those bastards killed Nikki. I stood in shock, in silence. It didn't feel real until the day of your funeral. Even then, I walked up to the casket and looked in. That was not my sister laying in there. But it was. You just lost your animated look. And underneath laid a resting bitch face worse than my own. I walked away, but you were everywhere I looked. I went into a smaller room and sat in front of a TV that played pictures of you on a loop. Then broke down when the images of us as children playing dress up or striking a pose appeared. There were so many times where I felt like an awful sister. I'd let my anger get the best of me sometimes because being on guard 24/7, being the big little sister, being your caregiver, feeling like a slave at times was stressful, and I didn't ask to do any of that. But I had to step up. I had to be an adult before I was ready. And once I became an adult, I got jobs so I could escape from my house, from the tantrums and crying. It broke my heart to see you like that, but it also felt like it was driving me insane because it was consistent chaos. And I was standing in the midst of the fire, unable to extinguish the flames no matter how much I tried. The fire exploded and engulfed our entire apartment. We sent you to the hospital. where we thought they could save you from yourself, but they kept making matters worse. They kept you in restraints. They kept you sedated so you'd be weak and mundane, unable to try and scratch at your face, but you were like a Houdini and would wiggle your way free. So they'd tighten the restraints, and when I'd visit you, I'd watch as you'd struggle against them, wriggling your body against the hospital sheets in any effort to reopen the wounds on your cheeks. They had to take your pillow away because you kept rubbing your face against it roughly until it was bloody. My life felt like a fucking horror movie. My sister had always picked at her skin, but it was never to such an extreme as this. We were worried she would try to gouge her eyes out or get an infection so bad that she'd go blind. The hospitals didn't know what to do. I guess I can't blame them because we also didn't have a clue. My sister was probably a rare case for them, but I'm sure my sister wasn't the only one who struggled with excoriation disorder combined with autism and limited abilities to communicate her wants and needs. So what about the others? We are never alone in this world. So how can we create resources so these people don't have to suffer? My sister couldn't tolerate gloves or a mask, but Hogan put her in a helmet and made her wear oven mitts. I know that caused her severe emotional distress. The workers didn't seem to care. They claimed she was happy and thriving and would laugh when we'd ask why she seemed so sleepy and make up an excuse and then end the video chat abruptly because, oh, look, our time is up. Really? We knew she was doped up because that was not the face my parents and I knew. She looked like a zombie, not her usual animated look, and certainly nowhere near happy. Thank you for having me. That's a little of my sister's truth. Thank you.
And unmute yourself. Give it up for Kitay.
Just the bravery, truth, and the way you're able to not take away your responsibility and be easy on yourself, but still find the empathy for your own self within there as well. That's really deep, and that's great art.
Riveting, absolutely riveting, for real.
Listen, your community is going to let you know, right? This is why I continue to say it's the greatest community in the world. Kitay, it takes something beyond strength to go from, like you said, you felt your life was like a horror film, right? To go from that to healing from that, and then taking your power back from it by writing about it and sharing it. That process can take years for people, right? Some people never get to this point. But thank you, right, for allowing us a glimpse into your struggle, into your journey of healing, of struggle, right? Listen, we find ourselves in situations because we can handle them. As much as we don't think we can, as much as we don't like them sometimes, we can. And there's a lesson in there somewhere. But you got to know, in that lesson, you're a blessing. You're a blessing. So thank you. Thank you. With all the things, even though inside the consistent chaos, you were the constant. Thank you, Kitay. We look forward to hearing all the rest of your work, truly, all of it. Whew. I told y'all, this is what we do. This is what we do. All right, coming up next, yell at this one over here. This poet, right, shout out Dope Poet Society, has come through and just always brings the heat, right? Even stepped into the slam realm and got down, right? Brought the heat back to us. Listen, I love when poets start planting their own trees and branching all the way out, all the way on the West Coast. The one and only Bianca is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. Yeah, so the Dope Poet Society, thank you so much for always shouting that out. It's my baby. It's something that I'm really nurturing to the fullest right now. So go ahead. I've dropped the links and everything like that. I'm also booked and busy because it's Virgo season. It's my birthday month. So I made sure I'm booking shows and features. So I hope to see some family members there. I have some upcoming events that I also written down there. I actually was going to recite an older piece called I'm Tired, which had to do with like the Uvalde shootings and everything like that. Because no matter how old a piece gets, there's always some relevancy, right? But this one, Elemental mentioned amplifying our frequencies in our, soul songs. And this one I wrote on a Tuesday because I was tired. And yeah, that's what it's called, Tuesday. Here it goes. I'm tired, but not in the way you'd think. I'm tired of yesterday's grief that lingers on to today's misfortunes as if the future isn't already on borrowed time, and I'm in debt with memories that haunt me, as if living has become my new paranormally. I don't do this often because I'm not used to skeletons moving around in my closet. The world's a beat a burden. Moving around in my closet, the world's a beat a burden. Trauma creates a trapped mindset, and that's why I always have my mind set on things I'd otherwise forget. I feel as though my remains have been quilted together by people who thrive off of fabrications. Cadavers of my most truthful past, mummified with concealed secrets that I can't seem to wrap my head around. I'm entangled by glorious righteousness, bombed by volcanic conundrums as I crumble under the pressurized tomb of my own kingdom, ruled by my insanity. I pray I never fully wake up from. For the hibernation I endure keeps my alluring spirit at bay. Nada hay absoluto, todo se cambia, todo se mueve. I have imposter syndrome because my guilty pleasures became my new reality, and now I feel robbed of my innocence, yet my insecurities are magnified by people so minimal. The average of disappointments to accolades are starting to look alike. People prey on me like I'm the chosen one, like I'm someone they should idolize, when in fact it was their idle eyes that chose not to change when they were given every reason to. And as I wait for the weight of my body to level out, I feel as though I have pockets full of stones. Lay me down, let the only sound be the overflow. Now I take my sorrows of waterlogged wonders and reveal the nautical slip over my head, giving birth to my death. They hover over me in somber, muted, blue-gray tones, wishing they understood why their decisions created the best in me, because when I was alongside them, all they thought was that they bested me. See, it's only Tuesday. And I'm tired. Thank you, everybody.
That's how you turn up on a Tuesday. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Bianca.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bianca,
Thank
right
you.
on.
Amazing.
Good stuff.
Listen, oh my goodness. Listen, whether it's Tuesday or Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, work. It's that work. Right? So she's tired of yesterday's grief. Future's already on borrowed time, so I'm just trying to catch up. You know what I mean? Trauma creates a trapped mindset. Whew. Threaded together by people who quilt. Come on! You better taught that stitch work. Right? The hibernation I endure, right? Imposter syndrome. Come on. Come on. How many times have we all dealt with that damn monster, right? People prey on me like I'm the chosen one. Come on, come on. That's just straight out of, simulacra and simulation. You know what I mean? Woo, that's heavy. That's heavy, Bianca. Make sure you are following Bianca. Make sure you are plugging in with the Dope Poet Society. All right. Bianca's real about it. For real. You're gonna get that work. You're gonna get that work from Bianca. Appreciate you for coming through. Don't be a stranger, Bianca, for real. All right. Coming up next. Woo. Vincent Price in the building. This poet continues to come through and share his incredible work one of the dopest storytellers I've come across in my life, the one and only Ike Waltz is in the building. Come on, Ike, let these folks know where they can find you, man. Always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Let me deliver the Labor Day news. The tutti frutti truth of the all-American fake news truth. Just 37 years ago, there were 50 companies in charge of most American media. Now 90% of the media in the United States is controlled by just 6 corporations: AT&T, CBS, Comcast, Disney, News Corp, and Viacom. Comcast being the largest. According to the 2021 World Press Freedom Index, the US press is ranked at number 44 out of 220 countries. Why? Our freedom of our press means that our media is politically more or less tainted. It has the right to tell you, meaning us, their massaged version of their newsworthy choices, further distorted and sensationalized by the selected news anchors, radiocasters, podcasters, talking heads, popularity rating, and news. Yes, face it, we live in the AI age of raw sewage information platforms, exploiting, uncontrolled, and affecting every facet of our lives. What we face at best is unhealthy, processed, tasty, fast food news truths, hence tutti frutti. Yes, it is tasty, so bloody tasty. And we seem to love it. Do we have what we are told? And that is our news. Real news, original news, actual news, newspapers, news, only news, local news, world news, street news, news, national news, international news, newsworthy news, news, number one news, first news, breaking news, Twitter news, news, experience news, care news, balanced news, who is in the news, news, reported news, Facebook news, the most trusted news, news, new news, latest news, future news, news, progressive news, exclusive news, selected news, news, White House news, Trump news, MAGA, great lie truth, conspiracy news, Republican confused news, news, sports news, weather news, who leaked the news, news, weekly news, evening news, daily news, catch up with wiki news, internet news, news, blasting news, bombshell news, explosive news, scary news, hate news, news, fake news, facts in the news, fake facts, fact checkers news, check the fact checkers news spews, fuck the fucking Fox News. Nobody trusts American news, even no news is questionable news, so much as any news is no news. So fourth, no in news does not mean no news. There is even the radio oops news, followed by the podcast news. Daily we consume real shit news. These Rupert Murdoch treading holes in our hearts, planting his seeds of hate. Yes, it's an unimaginable financial hit, and we love it. Every true news is a fact. So false, every fake news is a fact just the same. And my friends, every fact has a real impact. News, we confuse, you confuse, I confuse. Confuse? And if you wanna be a wannabe, consult Fox's Sean Hannity, followed by Tucker Carlson's pathetic fake news profanity. This is the ultimate exaggerated fake truths of our fucking so opinionated US tutti frutti filtered news truths. This was my bloody nuisance news. Have a sip of a 45% ooze. Have a good news.
Bloody nuisance news. This dude, I'm telling you, unmute yourself, give it up for Ike. Whoa!
That was
news.
news you can use. Yeah.
Nice work, Ike. Fake news.
Platform.
Fake news.
Very
Fake
good. Narrative
news.
of the lie. Controlling the
Very
narrative.
God. Listen,
Controlling the narrative.
I appreciate you so much, Ike. I like to call him the Vincent Price of poetry. I told y'all, this cat's an incredible storyteller, one of the best, right? He said at one point in time, there were 50 companies that controlled US media. He said now 90% of the media is controlled by 6 corporations. I like to call them gatekeepers, right? The US press is ranked 44 out of 220. What? It's more or less tainted, right? They're massaged versions of their newsworthy choices. They're raw sewage information platforms, right? Like, I never really thought about that, Ike. So many different variations to news, right? How they spin it on you, right? To make sure you get it. He said newsworthy news, Twitter news, who's in the news, the most trusted news, exclusive news. He said, MAGA, MAGA, it reminded me of Waka Waka. Like, it just, you know what I mean? The Fox News, like, if you want to be a wannabe, try Sean Hannity, and then, make sure you're plugging in with Ike Walsh. For real, a mainstay of our community and a dope-ass storyteller. Appreciate you, Ike. For real. Woo! All right, coming up next, I see we got him back. This gentleman came through last week. Shout out DG Clearing. Came through and just brought all the heat with him. And I'm so glad that he came back. The one and only James Hamilton is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you again. Please take it away.
Great to see you too, Elemental. Thanks to New Eurekan Poets Cafe for having me back. I'm out on the street again, so again, if I get traffic noise, I apologize for that. James Hamilton, author, Facebook, Instagram, something called Threads. I'm not sure what that is yet, but I'm on it. So I am on topic again. And I actually had a couple days to prepare for this, but this is the first time I'm reading it, so I'm gonna just let it rip. It's happening again. It's in the air, over here, over there, through the waves, talking heads, dropping blast furnace hyperbole, burning violent withered air, skewed in earnest, firing verbal thumb screws and silk ties in unerected restraint, convection with conviction, conveyed misdirection and lies, outright lies, perpetrated propaganda swine, national, regional, and world news lines, snorting, puking pigs, astringent bovines, declaring honesty, dancing their jig, never in line, never in time. Fuck their fallacies, dichotomy, heresy, and dogma. Fuck the doctrine and spin, misinformation, and the contrived intuition within. Fuck dissemination, truth trysts, broadcasts, and whirling twists. Fuck them and their believe all of this. And fuck all of those year-end top 10 lists. Too many buy what is sold. Makes me want to slip my wrist. Seriously? Where's humility? Where's responsibility? Where's the fucking truth? Maybe in there with the refuse and forgotten, tucked away with the pocket lint? Just a glimmer through monochromatic smog in 15-minute increments, looming heavy like that dirty fog. I don't know. Still, it's enough for most to do what they want them to do. Say what they want them to say. Make everybody behave. See, when news happens today, we don't hear how it is. We hear the tainted piss way, ammoniated, adulterated, blended into a dissimulation fray, tipping hearts, minds, and feelings with every word they say, with their expressions, facial tics, nonverbal communications, planted inflections, dictation propagation, buildups and letdowns, erection infections. Fuck this, fuck that, hide over there and fuck who or what we say. Scavenge up what you can like the starving rats they think we are at play. But ultimately, in the end, they want us to do and act accordingly, or according to the script in their play. Yeah. Remember always, in the face of today's news, question everything, because information is not always the truth. And it is only in truth we can set ourselves free. I mean, it's okay to believe, but think for yourself. Ignore the urge to doom scroll and open your fucking eyes and see, please.
Yeah, see, that's how you do it. Oh my goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for James Hamilton.
Yeah, that was cool.
Sir.
Wow, right on.
Welcome back, James.
Pull back the curtain, James.
That was amazing. Open your effing eyes. That's the message I want you to take away. Wow, amazing.
Outside, man, listen, man, James. Listen. I told you last week, right? You have been welcomed into the greatest community in the world, and you have just jumped right in and done exactly what you're supposed to do, and that's bring the heat. Said it's happening again, right? That convection with conviction. Right? Never in line, never in time, of course, right? The year-end top 10 list, man, they're always so garbage. I don't even know why they even waste their time, right? Monochromatic fog in 15-minute increments, like, come on, right? I love how you brought up something that not a lot of people catch. Not a lot of people catch when they're watching news shows, right? You mentioned the nonverbal communication. The planted inflections. Man, listen, you know, those little things make the difference between somebody going to buy something and someone saying, no, I didn't like the way their eyes said that, right? Question everything, because only in truth set ourselves free. Appreciate you, James. Make sure you are plugging in with James, a newer member of our community, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see this cat on a regular basis. Thank you for coming through and sharing that new shit with us. Woo. All right, a couple more poets and I'm gonna pass it over to Ron. Coming up next, another new member of our community. This cat comes through ferociously, for real. Like, between what I've heard from him off the dome and what he's written, this cat has come to do it. The one and only Kazi Kaz is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Great to see you, man. Please take it away.
What's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Everything good? All right. So, how y'all doing, everyone? Hope everyone is cool. So it's just funny because the topic, delivering the news, being in the know, it just so happens that my ABCs, that is absolutely all that my ABCs are about. Delivering the news in the know. So I figured I'd get tonight's Monday Zoom caught up with Thursday's Zoom. So I figured I would give y'all GHIJKL from G to L, and then everybody's caught up. All right. So without further ado, I present to you from G to L. Excuse me. Gamely glorifying the greedily grotesque guilds of gratuitously galvanizing goons, gamefully gives growingly gainable ground to grossly governing goblins, gut-wrenchingly guilty of guile-guided gratification. Glory is gained by going through gruesomely greedy gauntlets, gingerly garnering graciously great glorification. So gamely gallivant with gleamingly glistening gusto, so as to gladly grace the gracefully grandiose gala and gallantly glamorous garments while gleefully gliding through the globally grimy garments of grisly gazes, ganders, and glares. Go and get your G-Funk groove on. Because the hugest hindering host from heretically hasty Homo sapiens has harassingly halted the homogeneous, humble honing of harmoniously heightened humanitarianism. Hence, however much hypocritical humiliation, heartfelt humility they hold, humbly helping the hopelessly helpless, happily helps never before help helpers help. Honestly, my heart is heavily hurting. Horrendously, humans have had a harrowingly horrifying and heinously horrible history. Hopefully, hindsight ain't the only hope worth having. Indubitably, importantly implemented information invites illicitly immoral intentions. Instead, immediately incite inherent innateness to insightfully isolate irrevocably intentional and inauspiciously insidious idiocy from innocently intellectual and inspirationally inviting intimacy. Incessantly insists on inquisitively inquiring as to impending improvements, not impressive illusions. It idealistically impels and interestingly informative incumbents upon infinity's ideal imagery to iconically instill an intrepidly implied and infinitely inferred invincibility, i.e., I am. Now, jokingly, I jested in justifiable jubilance, just jokingly jostled the judiciary gestures jinxing justice. Judge, jury's job is jurisprudence, right? Because in Junior July, Jittery Joe, the jaded janitorial junkie, was judicially jailed like a jovially jacked up jackal for jauntily jacking Java from jeering Jezebel, Janine, and Joyce, while joyfully jogging and jingling his jolly joystick in January. All the while, jaywalking and jamming the Jazzy Jeff, Juicy J, Jim Jones, Janis Joplin, Janet Jackson, and Jigga. So it was either Julia the Jekyll jackass or Julie the jilted juvenile who joltingly jumbled Jesus's jujitsu and Jehovah's judo in front of jealously judgmental Jesuits. Jumping Jehoshaphat. But it's okay, because the kettle and kiln in the kitchen were kindled by a kingly kindness, while kindredly kind koalas kissed kango-keeping kangaroos. But from Key West to Kansas, kaleidoscopically kilometric killings of kitten-kicking kindergartners kinetically keep our khaki keen kinfolk keeling, while kerosene keg karma kills our keystone kingdoms. Oh, and by the way, Krispy Kreme Krimpets from Krypton caused Klutzy Kenny, the ketamine kerplunking klepto, to keenly kidnap the kenneled canine Kaiser the killer. Anyway, lately, legitimately illuminating and lucidly logical literature has lamentingly lost lots of literary legitimacy. Listening to ludicrously loony lyrics laughably loses its lavishly labeled luster. Loquaciously linguistic lunatics loftily lurch and lazily lean from lightly liquored libations, leeringly looking to get loathingly lucky by literally locating lesions of lusciously live and loosely legendary ladies. Learning life's lastingly long lessons, largely lessons, languishingly lingering liabilities, loomingly lurking like little life-bleaching leprechauns. So live, listen, learn, laugh, and love. Thank you. Peace.
This cat is from another world with this alliteration. I'm telling you. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Kazi Card.
I heard that. Very good. Very good.
Krispy Kreme into KKK.
The crazy part about the crazy part about what you've been doing and breaking down like the ABC, the alphabet, is that you're flexing skills of alliteration, not in a I see what's gonna happen next kind of way. Like you're making sense, like as you're writing these lines. Like this shit, man. That's not easy. This shit.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Look, I love that. Again, greatest community in the world. Keep showing y'all. They keep showing y'all. We keep showing y'all. I truly, truly love that, right? Because that was something my mentors taught me, right? When you start going down the road, eventually you're going to find yourself in a place that people can pretty much predict. And then enter Kazi Kaz, right? With his alphabetic alliteration that is on, I don't know what you would call that, man. Steroids is not even enough. Balco, maybe. I don't know, man. Like, again, that, to me, that's divine inspiration, right? From the jump, this cat has said that he has the entire poem and it's 22 minutes. It's 22 minutes. Yikes. But I love the fact how you broke it and you said, this is about delivering the news. It is about being in the know, right? Hopefully hindsight ain't the only sight worth having, right? And globally grimy gambits, right? This I'm telling you, man, i.e. I am like jinxing justice, like lightly liquor libation. Like this dude just does it. He just does it. Appreciate you, Kaz, for real, for coming through and listen, keeping everybody in sync, right? He went from G to L real quick for y'all. Damn it, that cat's doing it. He does it. Heavy. Appreciate you, Kaz. All right, coming up next, the Magus, always with the gusto, always present. You've been hearing his voice all evening because his energy stays on point. The one and only Gustav Solace is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Gustav, always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. RMT and beloved poets. I'm going to get right to it. Extra, extra! The Florida Board of Education under Ron DeSantis has approved a new set of rules requiring teachers to tell students that there were upsides to being slaves. Yes, really. The state literally requires instruction on how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. This is a micro triptych. Here is the Red State Blues. Florida's governor's attitude is devil may care. Feel like you're drowning, no coming up for air. So sick of propaganda, it's hard to watch the news. The diagnosis is clear. It's the Red State Blues. Red State Blues, we must find a cure. Red State Blues, the virus is pure. Trans and gays denied equal protection under the law. To hell with the Constitution, it sticks in my craw. When a theocracy comes to rule from the pews, you better bet I got the Red State Blues. Red State Blues, the left shocked and awed. Red State Blues, they're co-opting God. The Republicans who claim to revere and cherish life, pro-guns and death penalty, the hypocrisy is rife. How can so many ignore all the clues? They don't care at all. We got the Red State Blues. Red State Blues, a left hook to the left. Red State Blues, their political boxing is deft. Ron DeSantis like a terrible sequel, crushing constitutional rights. In this, we're all equal. The majority like Horton, who can't hear the who's. Christians lording over Muslims, Hindus, and Jews. Red State Blues, so many Helen Kellers, so much to lose. Deaf, dumb, and blinded by the Red State Blues. This is retrograde Ron. Let me tell you a little bit about Ron DeSantis and his retrograde views. Some of you know, to others, this will be news. He's old school like the 1860s, racist as fuck. Bans books, trans and thoughts, man does he suck. Ron's anti-vax and anti-science to boot. To those who oppose him, he's a real brute. Just ask Disney what he did with Don't Say Gay. He must never be president. This I pray. His fascist views are regressive, domineering, autocratic, and repressive. The future, we can't with Ron, the Trumpist ass smoocher. So heed my words and don't buy the media hype. Ron's a fucking brown shirt gutter snipe. Not fit to lead this country, my friends. So stand against DeSantis, because this fight never ends. And this is Meet DeSantis. DeSantis, meet DeSantis. He's a modern Stone Age governor. He is dumb as a rock. Took the CRTI out of history. Someday, maybe Ron will win the fight. Then we'll be so fucking when you're with DeSantis. Have a yabba dabba do time, a dabba do time. Don't say a gay old time. Don't say a gay old time. Thank you.
Don't say it, God damn it. I love that cat. Unmute yourself, give it up for Gustav Solid.
I love you, buddy.
Man,
I do.
what you did.
Every word of that was so
Nice.
On top of all the kudos you're about to hear and you're hearing, you took the micro triptych and you took it, man. You brought the micro triptych to us, and you did something else with it. You went dark with the light and you shined. And I don't know what you did, but the first time I've somebody take that micro triptych, just like somebody takes the panku, and you brought it here. And you did something great with it, out of where that came from and who it came from, and you know what that's about. And the love. See, this is how it works. The love came out of the dark into the light of this room, and then you took that art form and that style and you brought it and you took it from another angle, and this place is fucking beautiful.
well said.
Listen, I keep saying that. I keep saying that. See, right? This place is the greatest community in the world, and we continue to show it, right? It's not just about me and Ron and the cafe. It's about y'all. This is about y'all. This is about every single poet who comes here week after week and shares all of this beauty, this pain with all of us. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be here. But damn it, we appreciate the fact that you are every single time that you come through and everything that you share with us. Like he said, extra, extra. Damn it, we here, right? Upsides to being slaves. God damn it, if that don't sound like an oppressor, right? Could be applied for their personal benefit. What? Theocracy come to lead from the pews, right? They're co-opting God. Come on, man, right? Their political boxing is deft. That's 100%, Gus. Retrograde Ron. Listen, he said he's old school like the 1860s. He's racist as fuck. I love that, man, for real. I always love how fervent you are when it comes to your revolt, your revolution, Gustav. That just, you know what I mean? That speaks my fucking language, man. I love it. Appreciate you, Gustav. A mainstay. Make sure you are plugging in with the megas, for real. Shout out Nemo Soon, right? Our resident micro triptych travel agent, right? Also, shout out Deadpan Lizzie, right? For the Pancoos. So much going on. Before we move on, I'm going to pass it to the dopest tech and programs assistant, ops assistant. This dude, I'm telling you, call him the Mad Hatter pretty soon. The one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it. You should be. Ron, come on, man. How you feeling this evening?
I am feeling okay. I'm happy to be laboring on Labor Day with you here, making sure that our poets can deliver their news, thanks to your wonderful theme that you gave us today. You know, and again, as I say every week, I am in awe of, you know, what everybody is bringing, you know, and what everyone does with the theme, and, you know, and how it brings. So thank you guys. You guys are just amazing. Love you guys. That is amazing. So on that note, for the newcomers here, I am Ron Mark Thompson. As Elemen2al mentioned, I am one of the program and operations assistants in the New Rican Poets Cafe. I also work a few events in the tech booth at the cafe, as well as I am your online tech assistants here in the background, making sure that on Mondays, Elemen2al has a great time hosting his online open mic, and on Thursdays, our executive director, La Brua, is hosting the Thursday night online open mic. The Zoom meeting IDs for both online open mics are on the screen. Like about 2 or 3 minutes ago, I put them in the Zoom chat as well. It's the same Zoom meeting IDs each week. Also online, our executive director La Brua is curating and hosting Beatniks online. Usually it is happening on the first Wednesday of the month. This month we're a little bit behind on the recording, but we will bring you a Beatniks edition, so just stay tuned. In the meantime, all you have to do is go back to our Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube channel and watch the past editions of Beatniks online, or the past editions of any of the Monday or Thursday night online open mics. About 5 minutes ago, I put that in the Zoom chat as well. In-person programs, this is for those who have never been in front of the New Rican Poets Cafe. This is what it currently looks like, including the new painting of the Puerto Rican flag from the on the upper floors on top of the existing mural. So yes, we still have in-person programs coming up for the next 2 months before we close, namely the Monday night on-site open mic, which is happening right now in the building. That's alternately hosted by Solpreme and Rice Felicia. Wednesdays, except for the first Wednesday of the month, is our Wednesday night poetry slam, hosted by J Rose and the B. They alternate each Wednesday. Friday night slam, 10 p.m. in the cafe, hosted by Chive Poetic, followed by the Open Room Twilight Hour open mic, hosted by Chauvet. For all those weekly programs, you can get your ticket either at the door when you get there, or in advance on our online calendar. All you have to do is go to our website, newrican.org, click on full events calendar, choose the date and time. It's the same calendar where you got your free artist RSVP tickets or view RSVP tickets for tonight. Also coming up, so this week coming up, it's the first Wednesday of the month, which is reserved for WOW, which stands for Women Orators Wednesday. That one is hosted by our executive director, Labrua. We moved up the time based on customer feedback. It is now starting at 7 p.m. in person. If you want to perform, or if you want to watch online, we also have a Zoom ticket option for only $5 available. This is happening this Wednesday, September 6th, as well as in October, which would be October 4th. Also, as Elemental already mentioned, the ASL Slam is back. They took a summer break in July and August, but they are back for 2 more months at the New Eureka Poets Cafe, which is happening this Friday, September 8th at 6 p.m., right before Jive Poetic. And in October, it's on October 6th at 6 p.m. in person in the cafe. You already may purchase your tickets online on our ticket site. And yes, we also have a few other programs coming up in the cafe or in other community organizations. You see the third line here. This Saturday, September 9th, we will be at the community day at the new museum, which is in the neighborhood of the New Eureka Poets Cafe. The new museum is located at 235 Bowery. If you live in one of these zip codes surrounding the new museum or the New Eureka Poets Cafe, you can get in for free. Everyone else, there is a small ticket charge. I will put the link in the chat in the next few minutes. So if you happen to be in New York City or in the New York metro area, stop by, because Labrua will be teaching a writing workshop at 1 p.m. on that day. And then at 2:30 p.m. we will be holding an open mic, all part of the community day at the new museum. Back in the cafe, Saturday, September 16th, we will be welcoming David Amron and his son at 7 p.m. for an in-person and evening of jazz and poetry. And good news, this event is free for everyone, no matter where you live in New York City or outside of New York City. So if you want to see, a wonderful jazz and poetry program, come on, stop by September 16th. And we're going to have another jazz event coming up the following week on September 21st, part of our regular Jazz Heritage Series event. It will not be David Amram, but we will invite other jazz musicians to that event. Stay tuned for details on that one. Saturday, September 23rd, the New Eureka Poets Cafe will be at the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club in the Bronx at their Day for Kids. We will also be hosting a writing workshop there, and there will be poetry performances. I put the address in the Bronx. That one is free to attend. More good news, Saturday, September 30th and Saturday, October 13th, our 2 last Voices and Vibes hosted by Paul Concasso before we close the building. Voices and Vibes is our karaoke / original music. So either bring your own original tracks and sing live to them, or let us know what karaoke you will sing and we will accommodate you in the cafe. 8 p.m. You already can purchase your tickets for those 2. Tickets are only $5. And last but not least, as you've heard Elemental and me and Labrua tell you the last week, on October 31st of this year, not only will be Halloween, but it will also be the New Eureka Poets Cafe's exact 50th anniversary. 50 years ago on Halloween, we were born, thanks to our co-founders. And we are planning a curated event for that evening. We will give you more details as soon as they become available. And then the following day, unfortunately, we will have to close our doors so we can clean out the building and get ready for the 3-year reconstruction, which will be done by the city of New York. They have provided the funds and the construction, crew and everything, that we need to make that happen. Stay tuned. we obviously, of course, will continue on our online open mics and programs. And next year, we will also be going to satellite sites in New York City to continue our in-person programs. If you are not yet on our mailing list, either scan the QR code, or I'm going to put the URL in the chat in the next few minutes, so you can get your name and email address added, and you will never miss out on any of our programs. And last but not least, our social media platforms. You see all the links here, our website, how you can contribute. I'm going to put that all in the chat, so in the Zoom chat, so you have that all available. But let me turn my camera on so we can get back to our open mic, and we are gonna go now international. I mean, we've always have been international, but we're gonna now hear from someone outside of the United States, and I'm so glad that he is back. We missed him for a few weeks, but you know, I remember he came back to the audience last week. I can't wait what news he will be delivering today. Poetic, zooming in from Japan. Poetic, it is so good to see you back. Let us know how you're doing, where we may find you, and then go ahead. I know you're going to have a wonderful video production for us.
Glad to see you, Ron. Thank you. Are you maybe this is my social media account, so please check. You, Ron, you are so kind poet. So this title is maybe not for you, but tonight's theme is, tonight's theme is deliver the news. So I wanna bring the fucking news. It's kinda, parody, irony. So don't take it seriously. Just take it. Just enjoy watching, right? So now, let's get started. News. Former adult film actress runs for president. A former adult film actress is running for president in a certain country's election. In a TV debate, she faced criticism for a conservative opponent who asked, "Are you gonna ruin this nation?" A strong response, "You're just a puppet of the rich. Hypocrite, go get yourself." Received cheers from the audience. Victory is almost assured. AI versus clone in a heavyweight battle. The world's first heavyweight title match between an AI robbery and a clone copy took place, with both fighters fiercely exchanging blows until the final round ending in a draw. In post-match interviews, the AI, whose head kept on spinning uncontrollably, and the clone, whose seventh eye was regenerating violet, declared, "We won't give up until we unify the world. Will we become their servants?" Professor Neuron's controversial formula. Network Tech University's Professor Neuron, a nominee for the Nobel Prize in Physics, announced the formula X equals Z. According to him, X represents the Big Bang and Z represents the end. In other words, we are already dead within the end. But when the next X arrives, XX squared, which means the beginning, resurrection is possible for everyone. This has led to fervent opposition from evangelicals, with numerous protest groups gathering daily outside the professor's hospital, shouting, "Not wrong!" Oh, that's scary. Environmental activists UFO warning. A popular environmental activist is seeking financial support from world leaders. The reason being, she claims, that spy balloon was actually a UFO, and with my heightened intuition, I've decoded a clear message from it. According to them, our planet is experiencing rapid global warming. While cooling it down is an option, their suggestion is to wipe us out with a laser beam since we are still engaged in warfare. The end is around the corner. How many opinions will be collected? Radioactive water release controversy. Where is the problem? A certain long-lived nation has finally begun releasing radioactive water into the ocean, despite opposition from local fishermen, leading to global criticism. A fisheries university professor has long warned the radioactive substances in the treated water will transform the fish into dragons. In the ancient Chinese classic, I Ching, there is a saying that the dragon soaring too high will regret it. It means that those who prosper too much will inevitably decline. Indeed, we could say it applies to this country. However, it's going missing now. As inconvenient to many races. Fucking news! Be careful, fake heavy guys. Thank you so much.
OMG, everyone, please unmute yourself and let Poetic know. Wow.
Oh, man.
Another work of genius.
That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. And that beat, oh man, I was jamming.
Work of insight. Quality, fuck you.
You can watch it again, please check it out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, that's right. Check out his YouTube channel. He usually posts those video clips afterwards, on his YouTube channel. Well, so ingenious, like as Elemental and everyone said, the production value of this and all those news and the underlying theme I hear, from so many of you today that yes, we have to be careful how we take the news in and what we believe and what we don't believe now more than ever in the past. So thank you, Poetic. That was I think that was the perfect, theme for you to come back. So I hope we get to see more of you. If not, I know you're always a great supporter, and we get to see you on many more Mondays. Thank you, Poetic. That was wonderful. Thanks for coming back. All right, next coming up, we're actually going to go back to the United States and not too far from here in New York City. Another wonderful a poet who has become a mainstay with us in the last few weeks, and Shri also attends the Sunday evening writers meetups that she and I attend, which are led by Marilee Johnson and Tabitha Adams. If anyone is interested in them, just hit me up privately, and I'll let you know how you can join those for free. But Shri, I am so glad to have you back. I love what you wrote yesterday in our little meetup, and I love what you brought on the past Mondays here to us. Shri, let everyone know where we may follow you, and the next 3 minutes are all yours.
Thank you, Ron and Elemental. It's great to be here. My computer crashed, so I'm on my phone and the camera won't go on, but I hope you all can hear me. I'm on Instagram, Shri Lal Dev, and here's the first poem. I am a child of the Halmadi tree. My clay pot brims with milk and honey. A tarnished lamp holds the clarified ghee. I pour these into fire or wash a prisoner's feet. Either or, it's one and the same. This is just the way I was raised. Still, I come by error honestly. When will you show me how to be free? At daybreak, I bring the sun's bronze plate. With clean handfuls of flowers I want to ablate. Champa blooms at this rocky sky gate. Like children, we fight, feast, vow, and celebrate. These wild years at play, I still don't know how to live the right life. If I forget again who I am meant to be, hold out no grape of wrath, but be patient with me. Friend, just tell me again how we all can live free. And I have a second one. This is part 2 of something I read a few weeks ago. Loose star clusters disappear into the ruby sun of a dawn that breaks the dark glass night in two. So, when I wake with you, all is broken by light. Light cannot be contained in the palm of the hand that aches to possess her. The one you are is beyond the light of dawn or dusk, beyond the wheel of the seasons, beyond the hurricane, beyond rain, flood, or unbroken blue of sky, beyond the meaning of this samsara. The light you are, no eye can see, your song, a resonant hum beyond the spiral shell of ear, the harmony of an unstruck sound. Thank you.
Beyond this. Oh, and then she came with the voice too. Like, come on. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Sri Law.
That's your baby.
Just amazing that, yeah, your computer crash did not take away, you were still able to see that. So that was wonderful. Yes.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
It's everything, folks. Timing is everything. Thank you, Sri Law, for sharing all of your incredible poems. You really remind me of a poet who used to come through and rock with us on a regular basis. Shout out to Honey Lung. The way that your voice carries your poetry, it gets through the toughest doors, right? It just breaks down the strongest walls because it wants to listen to your work. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. You said you don't know how to live the right life. I'm gonna tell you what, as long as you keep writing like that, everything else will kind of work out, right? Said you're beyond the light of dawn or dusk, right? Under the unbroken blue of sky. Like, I love that, right? The unbroken blue. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Sri Law. A mainstay of our community. Really make sure you are plugging in with Sri Law. Before we move on, everyone unmute yourself and give it up for Ron Mark Thompson.
Every day.
Thank you, guys. Remember, we're going to close the building in 2 months. So if you're in New York City, please stop by. As Elemental, can tell, I'm glad he had a chance to stop by, as he is not zooming in from the New York City metro area. But yeah, we're still going to have wonderful in-person programs. And we're going to see you online, on Continued. So thank you, guys. It's always a pleasure to be here with everyone.
Appreciate you, Ron, for real. Ron is just an incredible, integral part of what we do, what I do, for real. That cat's always on point, stays dedicated to what we do and keeping me in the know. So I appreciate you, Ron. Before we move on real quick, shout out Paul Bynum watching on YouTube. Appreciate you. Darkman Blues in the house. Shout out Marianne Tepp. Had to jump out, but wanted to also make sure someone else got in her spot, which we will make sure we hear from them. Shout out Black Swan. Won't be able to join us this evening, but always appreciate her energy. Shout out Jay. Shout out Jamisha. I also saw there was a poet laureate in the building. Shout out Scott Pleasant. Whenever that cat comes through, truly appreciate that. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up next, I mentioned storytellers earlier, right? And here comes another brilliant storyteller, probably the most eloquent writer I know. Thankful he was able to get back across the pond, spent quite a while in the New York City area. This cat's incredible. The one and only Lantern Carrier is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, my brother, friends, family. So happy to be back. I'll put the details afterwards. Sitting beneath a mango tree in the Caribbean twilight, my grandmother told me magical tales that was full of the sweetness of love. Her sad ones were so real that the rain lamented my sorrowfulness, showering me with its healing effects, even as light zephyrs calmed my soul with their soft symphonies of music. This was so different from today. News and stories now bring me sensationalism and pain, insecurity and fear, and I know not the real from the unreal. Fox News and AI leave questions unanswered, are utilized by lobbyists and spin doctors to serve the aims of avarice and power. What is good news and how do we deliver it? This is questionable, as even when we use scrolls, parchments, and constitutions, send messages by code through scriptures, pigeons, gestures, music, and dance, human inherent weaknesses abounds, and news get colored according to the agenda of the conquerors. I believe that Jesus was white and that Columbus discovered America. Some thought they would fall off the earth, believing it to be flat. Victims tended to give more honest news, and the griots had nothing to gain by telling the sad stories of their ancestors. This news became tainted and portrayed differently by the corporate few who saw nothing but a glint of diamonds and gems in their grasp. In came divide and rule, the heinous indoctrination of negative stereotypes of color, poor intelligence, and the poverty and barbarism portrayed through the film and pharmaceutical industries, courtesy of Tarzan, John Wayne movies, experimental drugs, and a more radical web of TV and internet spin, sometimes too painful to watch. Journalists trained to give good news are accountable by laws, they say, yet we find some dying in war zones accidentally while risking their lives to tell us the truth. Others are briefed and financed by visible masters and invisible ghosts in high places before they set out on their journey. Cell phones and neighborly magazines have sprung up everywhere. Some try to see through what Trump and co are telling us, or whether Osama created 9/11, or man went to the moon or not, or even aliens walking our streets. Sometimes, however, truth lurks in the dark corridors of power and only emerge after 20 or 30 years when considered safe to tell. Do our vaccines cause deaths? There was initially a diplomatic response where indoctrination psychology was practiced by a media that colored our thoughts, and truth lay only in the hearts and minds of the wise and discerning, those with the intuitive ability to read between the lines. We live in a society where those who know often hand down a tainted version to those who don't. Many innocents find themselves in prison only to be set free when the best of the youth has vanished. A far cry from a loving grandma who was wedded in the truth of love and godliness to such an extent that even the delectable meals she cooked tasted like they came from a celestial haven. Falsehood, oh falsehood, you dye my heart with blood, not beauty. Mountain Carrier, thank you.
Goodness, I keep telling you that cat does this, man. Unmute yourself, give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Wow. For all your words and all your listening too. You're amazing.
Nice.
Bravo, bravo. Amazing.
Thank you guys, ladies, gentlemen, persons, everyone, thank you.
100%. You know, Lantern is one of the most active poets I know in every room that I'm in, right? So I appreciate you mentioning that, CC, right? He's not only an active participant in what we do, he's an active listener, right? And being an active listener lets your community know, your colleagues know that you are actually here, right? Not just the box. So thank you for that, Lantern. And then, you know, the rain lamented the sorrow, you know, Fox News and AI, listen, between those two, man, you know, we better tighten up what we're listening to and where we're getting it from. you know, because according to them, Jesus was white and Columbus discovered America, you know. So make sure you're paying attention to where your you know, the well that your source is coming from. You know what I mean? Because yeah, they do have invisible masters, poverty and barbarism, right? You mentioned two names that in my research, I came across those names as well, as far as portraying on a large scale derogatory things or negative images, right? Tarzan and John Wayne, straight up. Some of the most beloved characters in Hollywood, but some of the most racial, man. Really. Thank you. Thank you, Lantern. Appreciate you. A mainstay. Make sure you're plugging in with Lantern. All right. Coming up next, the church say, God damn, I'm telling y'all, cats, you know, it says razor blade shaved with, right? Shout out to Concrete Generation, shout out Keeper of Concrete, you know what it is, folks. The one and only CP Maze is in the building. Come on, Maze. Let these folks know where they can find you and all the madness you got going on. Always great to see you, folks. Take it away.
Awesome. Everybody's poems have just been fire. Like, and on some political, like not overly political, but enough to jab you at your heart with real life, and then jab you with some political just to make sure you got that left hand too. Like, yo, y'all been dope tonight. Like really, really dope. The poem I'm about to do, how can I put it? Like, it's really weird. There was a group of people, right? I think I've told this story. I don't know if it was on a Monday. There was a group of people who were going around to soldiers, Marines, Navy, airmen, their funerals with picket signs screaming, they're going to hell. Like literally outside the funeral. Fucking ballsy, some ballsy shit. And it got me into thinking about, one, it's never the politicians' kids that are going overseas. One, like it's never the politicians' kids, right? Two, like the shit we've been through in the Marine Corps, I'm telling you, like it's insane. Boot camp alone, if the mothers knew what happened in boot camp, they would never send their kids to boot camp. But it got me into thinking about the times I've came home from my first tour where I got most of my medals and there were no parades. You know what I'm saying? Like there were no parades. It was so far past 9/11, you know, so there were no parades welcoming people home and all the stuff that these Marines went through. Vietnam, you know what I'm saying? Being spit on, like heroin just to deal with the pain up here and the pain here. So I ended up writing this poem. One of my favorite pieces. It's called Band of Brothers, Semper Fi Marines. My band of brothers were bred from bloodlines of blasphemy and weeping wombs. We came together under Marine Corps colors. And as sure as I stand in this land, I curse your liberties for not embracing us as heroes. For we shit pissed and bled blood in the mud from our souls, simply so you can continue to wander around life, judging each other by the clothes and cars people drove. We lived pain and gambled with our lives on the table, simply so you can sit back and shuffle your feet up on the table. We gave up our freedoms for your freedom. We sacrificed our freedoms for your freedom, only to come home to cancers, caskets, and crystallized Christ in our veins. No parades, no memorial services with TV crews at the grave, only company chaplains asking for moments of silence for the silent. Damn right, I curse your fucking liberties for not embracing us as heroes. Some dead, some still slowly dying. My band of brothers were bred from bloodlines of blasphemy and weeping wombs, some still crying. Some sons and daughters never having seen their parents smile. Some never having seen their seed's face. I've seen some embrace shades of another race as if they were their own. We lived on razors and drowned our sorrows in alcohol just to ensure we could feel something when we came back home. Bishop smoked till he couldn't breathe. Carrillo drunk till he fell asleep at the wheel. Mike died chasing money for the kill. I've lived lifetimes in muzzle flashes and seen Jesus in insomnia. You should bless the day for never knowing what it feels like to hold conversations with your mama when she thinks you ain't never coming home. You should never know what it feels like to hug your brother's mother and explain to her how you broke your promises of bringing her son back alive home. Mama Johnson, I'm sorry. I tried. I was in the desert when Mike died, and I can't find enough sympathy in my heart to forgive me. And sometimes at night I want to scrap all my scrapbooks and burn all my memories, but it's too hard. It's too fucking hard. As long as I could hear his voice inside my head and see his smile in the wind, and I don't even know where the fuck this poem was supposed to end, but wherever it does, Mike's still speaking through me. And we wanted to tell you that he's sorry for not coming home. And we really wanted to show you how much we really do love you and how we curse your fucking liberties, all of the ones that blaspheme armed forces. For none of us, we're still embracing us as heroes because I am still slowly dying. Thank y'all. Poem.
Five. God damn it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CP, man.
CP, you bleed all of
Wow,
us.
CP.
Favor, man.
Wow.
Always
It was
amazing.
such a favor. You're not
Preach,
afraid to live, and you're not
man.
afraid to
For
die
real.
out loud for
Wow.
us. You're a godsend for us, man. And you
Gave up our freedoms for your freedoms, yo.
And it's not just an American story, it's a soldier story, I hear, because every soldier in every war on every side, when even if you're at the top, the Green Beret or the fucking SEALs or the Marines, you're a pawn in a bigger game. And when no love comes for that, that's what you gave. And I heard you, if anybody did. I can never understand, but I could at least, give the love back. At least everyone should hear you.
You're absolutely right, CC. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Everyone. Listen, shout out to the vets. Everyone. If you have a veteran in your vicinity, in your family, call them and ask them to tell you a story. Right? You'll probably get a few, but ask them to tell you a story, really, because those things are healing. Even though they're soaked in pain, right? They are healing to relive them and to relive those people. As he said, Mike is still speaking through him every time he rips, black nails and all, right? Every time he rips. Said, all I remember is chaplains asking for moments of silence for the silent. Bred from bloodlines of blasphemy. Like, come, curse your liberties, right? Listen, I believe the same, right? If mothers knew what their children were getting into, being initiated into the military, listen, just know that they are the sharpest tools in the world in those moments, for real. There is nothing to fear, nothing, because in those moments, they don't even fear death. Appreciate you, Maze, for real. Shout out to all the vets in the building. Our, crazy band of brothers, our military family it's a wild bunch. It's a wild bunch, but You cross us and you'll find out how wild we are. Appreciate you, man. Coming up next, I saw this cat slide in and I could not miss the opportunity to get up with this cat. Listen, if you are not aware of who this next poet is, set yourself up to hear and listen. I always appreciate when I get a chance to hear this cat. The one and only Frog Corpse is here. Unmute yourself, Frog. Let these folks know where they can find you online, man. Bless us. Take it away.
Patriot for the poetless, an acrostic. We think too much and feel too little. Engineering eras built toward indifference. Lying to ourselves, living in a fast-paced world, emptying pockets to even the odds, thriving on slow patience, opting for prejudice rather than compassion. Under American sky, we are driven by greed. Respect is only given to the highest bidder. Selfishness is rewarded as carrying costs. Even in these times, we deny humanity a voice. Living in the moment, we scroll past memories, venerating valuables rather than character, encroaching borders while locking doors, separating views while dividing values, deepening debt to profit from poverty. Oppression governs by the red, white, and blue, warring for minerals and battling for bullion, neglecting the opportunity to grow. We drop our programs, raise our taxes, overlook liberties and underhanded deals, narrow our laws while narrowing our minds, telling tall tales and short sentences. We carry big dreams and carry small wallets. Election day is near. The acrostic goes down, says, we let ourselves down, don't we? This next one, real quick, is one I did in 2020 at a poetry slam hosted by spoken word artist Sully Breaks. This is called The Spoken Word of the Passenger. Love. We never heard it enough. Maybe our generation heard it too much. Maybe from the ones we never wanted it from. So we stay silent because there's no weight to the tongue. Pushed away in the heat of the fun. A memory now of what could have been done. Chasing life now, you're a wreck on the run. So did you find love in the hops that you chug? The pills that you pop when you're a heap of a slump? Did the trees you chase to find your spirit within? Was your next I love you value content? Did the kids you make fill the void? Or did you plan it all out? Or was it a mistake of your choice? Do you dream like I dream? Do you row in the boat? Or does a four-letter word lose merit on shore? You traced around the globe when emotions was moored. So did you find your journey when questing a lure? No, I'm not judging. I want to know more. When I said I love you, is it the shell or the pearl? But if I have to ask, I should have known where it stands, because my I love yous are always the clam. So from me to what you're hearing is not what you're hoping. Your ego's got you spent and your years are a tolling. For your wishes are your wants and not your needs for the knowing, because my I loves you's meant, not what they're showing. So let me keep it real and get ready for flowing, not water from your eyes or the heart that's pouring, and every single thought attribute of nouns coring. So some never hear it, so let us enjoy it. Stop pressing on the meaning when you've never explored it. You never found your heart to appreciate true moments. 4 little letters can mean so much more than what you've heard, what you've said, what you've done, what you did. Thank you.
I told y'all that cat's a whirlwind and a half. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Frog Corpse.
Frog Corpse. Much love. Much love. Ron this weekend.
Much love. Pearl in the shell, yes.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Word.
Frog is just one of those poets, right? When I first came across Frog, right, he's been consistent with how deadly his words are. Damn it. Emptying pockets to even the odds, right? Under American sky, we are driven by greed, right? Approaching borders while locking doors. Come on, man. Telling tall tales in short sentences. Come on, man. Come on. In the second poem, I really appreciate the fact that you said, you know, there's no weight to the tongue, right? Maybe our generation heard it too much, maybe too little, right? Love how, you know, some things get devalued so easily. Something that's supposed to mean so much gets devalued because of overusage. You know what I mean? stop pressing on the meaning if you've never explored it. Listen, this is what I love about poets, is because we go all the way, right? We don't stop part of the way, 3/4. We go all the way and beyond, right? Starship Enterprise style. Appreciate you, Frog, always for coming through, man. Make sure you are plugging in with Frog Corpse and all he does. That cat's a mastermind for real, man. For real, for real. All right. Coming up next, our resident musician is in the building, right? Always behind the ebonies and ivories, the one and only CC Archagra's in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. CC, always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a crazy week, and what's about to happen, I have no idea, but this is definitely no script here. Crazy week. 3 days National Beat Poetry Conference, launched a new podcast idea, interviewed with a free form new thing called CC Archagra in Conversation With, did a deep dive with some amazing minds, got a book from, saw this guy Clive, Debbie Kilday, she's the producer of the Beat Poetry thing. There were people from around the country. This is her husband's book. This woman here has got another book that just came out, and Karen Warinsky, she's hosting a thing. I got a reading coming up on the 10th in Woodstock, Connecticut. Chris Van Looy, I invited him here along with many other people, and there's 50 poets in this book, and I told a lot of them about this, and this is my book. And last Tuesday, my brother committed suicide, and I have no place to go with that because this is my family, and I only got a sister left. And what am I going to do? I don't know how to deal with it. It's a fucked up story. It's a fucked up ending. And these are and my songs are starting to mean fucked up different things. I'm not asking for the love and the thank you. Yeah, I appreciate all that, but it was a rough ride. My brother never really got a chance to, you know that line in the song, no one told him when to run, he missed the starting gun. My brother started something, I don't know what it was, but he was 5. Don't lie, man. Don't fucking live a lie. If it's childhood, man, fucking men, machismo, your dick, whatever it is, don't fucking lie. So now I'm doing my song. In the meantime, he's fucking with my sister's head and threatening people and scaring people in the last days. And all of a sudden, in the meantime, in the background, I'm writing, I think I will not die today, although I just may melt away into a dream that's here to stay. Love, stay, and I'll stay with you. People tried to save him. His closest friend is a guy who next door, 2 houses down, his father killed himself, and he was the first one I called to tell because I know he was the last one that never gave up on my brother because he knew something somewhere. And then there's life is only death, but not forever. Rivers only water, not dry bones. You see, love is only everything's a miracle, and you and I, the song forever hums. And here I am trying to process this shit. And then Calm Down, you guys heard that song, Navigate It. I'm writing these in the background of all this shit that's going on. And, you know, it's just been weird. It's just been weird, but the reason I'm doing this here now is because I'm stuck with I don't know what the fuck to feel. Because it was fucked up. The relationship was just twisted. He had a war between the two of us, and I could just love that none of it was real. Something happened one day, and he left 2 kids, and his kids are probably going to see that. I love my brother. I couldn't reach him. He didn't let me know his kids. He didn't let me know his wife, and then he gave me shit about not knowing his kids and wife. And fuck, man. I started learning a piano course. Don't live a lie. If you know anybody that's living inside their own lie, don't give up on them, but don't help them. I don't know what to fucking say. I don't know what to fucking say. I don't know what to do. The whole story's not even in, and most of the memories about him aren't even pretty. It's fucked up. So family, what's left? We come here with our stories, CP with his brothers, everyone with their family. James up against the wall. That's you, James. Yeah. And AQ coming in with a filmmaker, bringing it into poetry. We're all doing different versions of this. And, you know, Kazi Kaz coming in with the ABCs. Frog Corpse, I just did this podcasting idea that I did. It's not, and it was it's fucked up. I'll try and release it. I got the Human Room Open Voice, the Word Show, and now another podcast, and 20 manuscripts, children's books, songs, lyrics, publishing. But I end up here every week. So that's my boom.
You're supposed to be here, CC. Every time you're here, you're supposed to be here. Now, let the community tell you. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CC or Chagro.
Condolences, CC. Thanks for trusting us with all of that.
Yes, that was awesome, man. That was so heartfelt. That was beautiful, man. That was so real. So real.
Get his book.
You don't have to know. You don't. You don't have to know, CC. This is why we're here. You don't have to know what to do. You don't have to know what your next step is, right? Sure, there are stages, but you don't have to know. Right now, walking in this space is absolutely fine where you are, man, right? And we are here holding space with you. Know that. And we're going to be here, right? You know how to reach out to folks, and you need these folks, man. This is not just a bunch of boxes sitting next to each other, man. It's community for a reason. Don't feel bad about how you feel, man, right? My brother left and we didn't have the greatest relationship either, man, right? But it happens. You got to know what you know and live on that. Live with those facts. Appreciate you, CC. Healing is a journey, man, really, and we're on it with you. Make sure you're plugging in with CCR Shock. Truth. Coming up next, this mainstay of our community, a new published author. I'm gonna ask her now, and I'm gonna ask her again in 6 months to make sure that y'all know about her incredible book. The one and only Vex Lex is here. Unmute yourself, Lex. Let these folks know how they can plug in with all that you do. It's always great to see you. Come on, take it away.
Shout out to you, Elemental. Shout out to everyone that's come before me. It's been an amazing night. Like he said, I have a book out called Ask Me Again in 6 months. You want to plug in with me, secure a copy, follow me on IG, VexLex Poetry, or head over to my website, officialvexlex.com. I have 2 poems for you tonight. The first one is called Invitation. Sooner or later, I knew I had to sit them all together. I worked tirelessly on the seating chart. It would not matter anyway, as they would just end up sitting wherever they'd like. I just want everyone to get along. I just want everyone to stop tearing me apart from the inside. I have sent a formal invitation to every personality to come as they are, ready to bear it all. It's time for everyone to be in the same room. It's time everyone be on the same page. And the second piece is called Delivering News. I'm being extra, read all about it. Here's a copy of what's about to go down. I suggest that you stop fucking around. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your time for comfort is finally up. There has been so much to say that I wanted to keep at bay, just for the sake of you being at peace and things being cordial for the time at least. But what about me? You're so used to me being so timid. It's time to get a little frigid. I won't keep my mouth closed, not for another minute. I can't believe I waited this long, but now's the time to finally let you have it. Because wrong is wrong. This does not need to be prolonged. It's inevitable that you succumb to my wrath. You're the one who dumped shit in my path. So here comes the storm. Maybe being a bitch is the new norm. Thank you.
Damn, okay. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Vex Lex.
Here comes the
storm. Vex. Wow.
Thank
you. Yeah.
A new norm.
Vex Lex.
The new norm.
Yeah, right. The new norm. Like, shit, let's put everybody on notice. Like, come on. That's how you do it, right? That first piece, that invitation piece, that I just knew. I just had it in my brain, like, okay, I see this, right? In weddings and shit like that, right? And then you say using a personal invitation to every personality. Like, oh, come on. Come on. Can we all just have a sit down? Damn it. I love that, Lex, for real. And then the second piece, I'm being extra, read all about it, right? Shout out Dustin too. Your time for comfort is already up, right? That's what I love about news, right? Sometimes them headlines is all the news that you need, right? So used to me being so timid, right? But I finally let you have it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the Vex Lex I know, right? Finally letting you have it now and again in 6 months. So ask me both times. Appreciate you, Lex, for real. Make sure you plug in with Vex Lex and get their incredible work, a mainstay of our community. Trust and believe. Final four poets of the evening, y'all. Appreciate y'all for rocking out. We're going to get through it. Let's do it. Coming up first, I'm not really sure. Is this your first time hanging out with us? Listen, 179 weeks. And one of the things that I love to do is hear new voices. So, for the first time, Miss Sierra, PG, please unmute yourself. Before you get started, please, first of all, welcome to the greatest community in the world. Secondly, where in the world are you plugging in from this evening?
I'm coming in from Chicago.
Oh, Chi-Town, stand up. Listen, appreciate you for coming through. You have just hanging out with the greatest community in the world. You see how it's going. Let the folks know how they can find you online. Welcome, truly. Floor is yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Tonight I have two poems. The first one is called The Prologue. Have you heard the gospel from the forgotten apostle, armed with an arsenal of wisdom? Sounded like angels singing, creating a schism in time, the divine in a tune now dressed up in the blues. Have you heard the news? Innocence stripped from consciousness, a conduit of twisted righteousness to awaken the activist inside, but it just ignited my pride. Have you seen the light? Right before the flames took flight, right before the whites of your eyes turned red, right before the thick black smoke spread, have you smelled the threads of sanity catch fire? Like an entire country burning with desire, flesh and metal blend like a choir in harmony. Have you felt the grittiness on your skin? Like black soot and sharp sand, like pins and needles in your hands? Have you tasted the ash dance on your tongue? The dry air in your lungs, the oozing of young scars on old wounds? Have you known grief sensually? Yeah, me neither. And the second piece is called, I Cannot Write a Poem. I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about grief any longer. My fingers have stiffened with rigor mortis after years of cats and spells with lead, trying to resurrect the dead. I now have a closet full of skeletons. I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about grief any longer. Stale words crisp around my mouth like cold sores from blizzards too often spoken, the burning and stinging of an open wound from 16 years prior. No, I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about my dead mother, not about the crack in her blood flow, the crack in her soul, the cracks in her skull. No, I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about Mr. Lott, Miss Charles, Miss English, and Flo, or Tammy, and Jared, and Jean, and Daddy Irvin, and Grandma June, and Uncle Larry, and Matthew, and Shapira. No, I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about how I celebrate the dead more times a year than the living. How I live in a mausoleum filled with filed away memories, the only flesh left on the bones and the ashes of the dearly departed. No, I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about the stages of grief. I cannot write a poem about denial, how you would think that after all these years, I wouldn't want to walk the streets of Ridge Road and Broadway, searching for a mother that never came home, wondering if she forgot the address. I cannot write a poem about anger and how I carry fire that dances on my skin, how the roar resounds cities away, a trail of ashes paves the way for fire poppies to grow in my path. No, I cannot write a poem about bargaining, and how I've begged God, offered up my prized possession, promised to dedicate myself to some lifestyle I don't even believe in, just to have you back for 60 seconds. I cannot write a poem about depression, about how I lost my psyche, and how I'm still picking up the sharp shattered pieces of my heart, how I was engulfed by darkness, abducted by black clouds, deafened by roaring thunder, burnt by volcanic lightning, how I still cry black tears. I cannot write a poem about acceptance, about how it is a continuous process, about how each year I find a new way to honor, to remember, to celebrate all of your short times on earth, but it's still not enough. No, I cannot write a poem. I cannot write a poem about grief any longer.
Damn, that's how you show up and show the hell out. Unmute yourself, give it up for Sierra.
Oh, you messed up. You're gonna have to show up every week here now.
There you go. Here come the love.
One of
Here comes
us.
the love.
One of us.
And that was good work to reach the heel behind the hate and the fear and the anger, to reach the heel. And that poem was about that threshold. Good work.
Listen, as I said, when she started, Chi-Town stand up, the Windy City has blown you in the right direction and you found yourself home. Trust and believe. You have truly and honestly and officially fucked up because you have to be here every Monday. Again, you've been welcomed into the greatest community in the world. In the first piece, the prologue, right? Said the gospel from the lost apostle dressed up in the blues, right? To awake the activists inside. Have you smelled the threads of sanity catch fire? The ooze of young scars on old wounds? Come on. I cannot write a poem. I don't know if you want to call that a poem. Listen, I don't know what you want to call that, but around these parts, we call that a poem. She said, I celebrate the dead more times a year than the living. Damn. She said, I'm not going to go back down Ridge Road and Broadway looking for somebody. Why? How I beg God, abducted by black clouds, how I still cry black tears? Black tears? Come on. Welcome, Sierra. That's how you do it. That's how you show up and show out. We truly appreciate you. We look forward to hearing more of your incredible work. Truly, make sure you plug your information in the chat so folks can plug in with you. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right, final three poets. Coming up next, Captain Flo is in the building. Love when this cat comes through. Make sure you are getting his incredible work, the emotional defibrillator. The one and only Daniel Fernandez is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Truly appreciate your patience. Come on, Daniel, take it away. Shout out Mama Flo, too.
Hello. I put all my information in the chat, my link tree, which will be towards my Instagram, Reddit, and also the link to the book and my background. Now, for today, I'll read the same poem that I did at the block party last week at New York. And this one is called Observing the Petals of a Rose. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. To be so happy that torment is no longer an emotion that you can recall. Life is good when your head isn't bouncing off the walls. We drifted off with blame stored in a vault. Was it me? Was it you? I have no say. I cannot judge. We both had our own mistakes. Silence was common and that led to more space. I dissolved in dews while my brain was in disarray. Trying to treat you right, always checking if you're okay. You couldn't take the low lifestyle, so you were underway. My heart dropped and I became a walking cliche. Running back to a lover that didn't have the proper response portrayed. Poetry pushed you into a corner, but it made me a monster. I write about my life and the dreams that I conjure. Sometimes a story or tribute, whatever I ponder. I did what I could, considering I couldn't even save $1. You play with my serotonin, but you're my dopamine. You're always jaded, so you hate falling into a routine. My sadness is chilling, drinking chlorine. My happiness is going berserk on a trampoline. I never understand my emotions, so I use our love to shield it. My loyalty loyalty is still firm and stronger than a bridge. I couldn't provide. Sorry, I'm not rich. I still managed to try and get you a gift. You say that I don't make money off my poems, so not write so much. It's a working process, my love. I'm trying to adjust. Life is fucking me up and making it difficult to trust. Success takes time. This was already discussed. I'm not going to hush. I'll do me and go nuts. Sorry about the words. It came from the gut. Respect honesty because it's serious between us. I love you, but our relationship was like Novocaine. Maybe I was so naive that I no longer felt pain. Time moved on and simple actions had to be explained. A downward spiral that no one would have been able to maintain. The truth hurts, so many people lie. I've never been the type, so scan my eyes. I'm always boxed in from the things that I buy. I can't satisfy my needs and I'm out of ideas to improvise. Maybe if we understood each other, we would have worked out. Different languages twisting our innocence around. We had plans of children and watching your ultrasound. I'm a damaged man looking for ways to be proud. I don't scorn our experience because I loved every moment. Yeah, we had our arguments, but that is something that no one can prevent. Distracting myself with a couple of instruments, escaping sorrow with music because of what's expressed. You taught me so much more than my regrets. I hit a roadblock the moment you left. We are lovers that shifted to opponents. Days started to drag and I couldn't focus. I overdrafted my bank just to pay for some gas. I try to be optimistic, but and then everything collapsed. I hold my tears inside because that's what men do. Faking smiles, thinking of how to cope through. In the garden of memories, analyzing our relationship. All of those rejected flowers forming a fence like a baby in a crib. Our love was golden until I lost my grip. I'm being executed as you stand there reloading the clip. One day you'll understand why poetry consumes my time. It's therapy, but healing in a way that it's divine. It takes my complicated emotion, then displays the pain in enigmatic lines, choking reality, taking some weight off my spine. We hope for the best while swimming in limerence, enjoying life, not realizing the ignorance. Years of great memories boosted our diligence. You started fading away and I couldn't find the significance. You're fubbing and I'm just noticing the distance. By my side or not, I couldn't tell the difference. You say that you'll leave the country in an instant. Emotions manipulated, obviously no coincidence. I'm stressing out, hunting for resilience. Sadly, we parted ways before Christmas. I was lucky to experience love, to hold perfection so close. Years later, broken, hopeless, and it shows. The pollen punching my face and irritating my nose. Upset, reflecting life while observing the petals of a rose. Thank you.
Oh, damn. Ooh, that cat's a gardener for real. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Daniel Fernandez.
Daniel.
Daniel, get his book.
For those of you that don't know Daniel's story, man, when you're 35, dude, and you're watching these, fuck that success part of the poem. You're living in it, and that shit's gonna die. And you're gonna go back, and then when you're 65 and shit like that, and you look back and there's like 10 more Daniels behind you, that's the success. You're already there, undressing your soul like the rest of us. And it's in real time. The fame part is just that's a fuck, man. You don't want to believe your own shit.
Damn. Wait, see, damn. He said undressing our souls in real time. Shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. One poem at a time. For real. Man, I appreciate you, Captain Flo. Really. Really. Said poetry pushed you in the corner. It made me a monster. Oh, shit. Like, come on. You know how many times I said that? Oh, man. Oh, man. Right. Not right so much. Yeah, man. Hear that plenty of times. Like, nah, our relationship was like Novocaine. Straight up. Right? Straight up. Escaping sorrow with music. Listen, music is a beautiful escape. It really is, but so is poetry. Right? Tried to be optimistic, but everything collapsed, man. It really is, right? Our love was golden until I lost my grip. Shit, man. Like, the more I hear your work, man, again, like I said earlier to somebody else, you just digging. You keep digging in, man, like Eddie. You just keep digging in, man. And I love it because you keep striking something new every time you dig, right? If it's not oil, it's gold, it's diamonds, it's rubies, it's emeralds, man. You keep coming up with these gems. Keep digging, man. It's coming. is coming. Appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging in with Daniel Fernandez and getting his manuscript. Again, shout out Mama Flo for always plugging in with us. All right. Since I didn't get a reply, we are going to the closer of the evening. The Iron Chef of Poetry has come to serve up another delectable dish of inspiration. The one and only Generalissimo is here to close us out this evening. It's always great to see you, Generalissimo. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Elemental. And Daniel, always a pleasure. You just are an amazing talent, and I always look forward to it. And your book is a spectacular book. And if you just duck your head down so everyone can look at the amazing cover, that is just one of the best covers around. I just love this book, and I love the cover, and I love the poetry inside. And I did meet Daniel in person at the New York Poetry Festival. He is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So I just want to just shout out to Danny, and I'll read two poems that I pulled out of the archives. Why tree-ripened peaches are the tastiest peaches. Was my heart easy pickings for you? Have you conned others with your well-practiced romanticism? All you had to do was be the right type of nice, the right type of considerate, the right type of respectful. You knew if you listened to me, maybe I had never been listened to before. You intentionally overwaxed the already slick parquet tiles in the vestibule so I would slip and fall, so you could catch me before my butt crashed against the hard floor, so you could lift me to my feet while you looked me in the eyes as if we were dancing, with your arm cradling my back as you dipped me, then raised me up as if I was floating on air. Was I just another juicy peach on your next door neighbor's peach tree with the branch that crosses over the chain link fence into your side yard? More easy pickings. And let's go ahead and do this piece called Sandbox. You raked me over the coals. You raked my soul over the coals. Like those who think they can walk over hot coals without burning the soles of their feet, I learned my lesson. You let me believe our love existed in a Zen garden of silky white Gulf of Mexico sand. Love sand sifted through my toes as I ambled aimlessly through it. I felt a warm sensation. Our Zen garden was a sandbox filled with ultra-hot, long-lasting charcoal covered with a layer of sand, just thick enough to hide the glowing red coals of your deception. You learned that I preferred long, soft, passionate kisses to sloppy kisses with an overzealous tongue, but a tongue used skillfully could take me places that could take you places I never took you to before. You always woke me by tracing your index finger from my left shoulder to my wrist, then kissing my cheek as you intertwined your fingers into mine, then whispering "Good morning, sunshine" into my ear. You claimed the touch of your naked body against my naked back while I slept, revved up my rapid eye movement to dangerous speeds. You studied architecture at the University of Facades. You surrounded a shotgun shack with Greek columns and called it Parthenon. You planted dahlias in desert rock gardens suitable only for cacti. You made a mint teaching makeup tutorials on how to put lipstick on pigs. In the end, and most likely from the beginning, every word you uttered and every move you made was teaching me to lipstick myself up like Baby Jane. Every time I find myself at a beach, I wear hiking boots for fear the sand might be laced with shards of deception. Thank you.
Filled with sharks of the golly. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Generalissimo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Ryan,
being
excellent work.
bringing the heart.
I'm telling you, look, I told y'all, the Iron Chef of Poetry never misses, right? And this evening as the closer, what did he do? He served us something very peachy, right? He reminded us why, peaches ripened on the vine are the best peaches. said with your real practice romanticism, like the right type of nice, right? Dip me and raise me as if I was floating on air, right? Like just the way that you move around in your poems, Generalissimo, it's just so, it's so elegant, right? And then in the sandbox, you know, he said that love existed in a Zen garden. He called it love sand, right? A tongue that could take you places, right? Revved up my rim, our rim to dangerous speeds. Ah, that's just fantastic. How to put lipstick on pigs. Listen, people do that. People do it. I love the intimacy of that poem, Generalissimo, truly. The sweetness from the beginning and then the gentle caress at the end. Thank you. It really is delicious and magnificent, as always. Truly, truly appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging in with Generalissimo, a mainstay of our community. Listen, y'all, we have reached the end of the night. I truly, truly thank you to every poet who touched the mic this evening, from the beginning, from the lead off to the closer. All of you are so magnificent. I truly love each and every one of y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. Make sure you are plugging in with everything that the New Eurekan does. Get online, go to the open mics, you know, get yourself some merch. Truly, it is truly a blessing to have all of y'all here every Monday night. You could be anywhere in the world, but you choose to hang out with us. So thank you. Shout out to all of you. Shout out West Ivy to my folks. Listen, all of you are incredible. We're going to end the night like this. Until we meet again, may the energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with y'all. Until next week, y'all, peace and blessings.